Yo, Klein from BrewBru here. So we're gonna make a beer. I'm gonna call it a free beer because I'm gonna try and do everything using stuff that I probably would have thrown away. So we've got some DME. So it is best before September 2019 and it's now May 2020. So just gonna give you a quick rundown of what we've done. So we've got 100 grams of DME, we've got a litre of water, we've got that in a pan on the hob just now, as you can see. So we'll bring it up to boil, we'll leave that for 10-15 minutes to boil away, and then we'll put that into our jar thing. There's a proper name for it, but I can't remember what it's called. So we'll leave it in there, take it down to temperature, and then we've got some yeast. Where have I put my yeast? Oh yeah, my yeast is over here. So we've got yeast that we've harvested previously. So this is a Nottingham second harvest. So this was from a Nuki Brown clone that I did back in January. So again, kind of past its best, 4 months old, but we're going to try and get that restarted in there. And I'll talk you through the next bit of the freebies in a wee while, but I'll show you this yeast starter once it's ready. Now, just a little warning: if you're making up a yeast starter, be very, very careful as this comes to the boil. Okay, so you can see this is literally just coming to boil right now, and this will foam up and overflow in a matter of seconds. So you've got to be really careful. As you can see, it's kind of creeping up the pan, and okay, so we're going to take it off. So just careful, okay? Keep an eye on that pan. You've been warned. Alrighty, so our DME has now boiled. There we are. So what we're going to do is pour it into our borosilicate glass thing. So obviously we're going to just pour that straight in, which I will attempt to do now. So we get the camera on there. Okay, so that's in there, and of course the beauty with borosilicate is you don't have to worry about big temperature changes. You can go cold to hot, boom, and it'll just handle it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to use that same pan, because it's a nice big one that we used. I'm going to get some ice and water in there, stick our borosilicate glass in it, and get it down to temperature. So we've got a thermometer here that has been sitting in our star san, which was in our borosilicate glass. So it's sanitised, so we'll use that to keep an eye on the temperature. Once it gets to 20ish degrees, then we'll pitch our yeast in, so we'll get this cooled down now. Okay, so we're warped now. Our yeast starter is down to about 20 degrees. We've got our yeast, which is kind of warming up a little bit. You can see it's kind of starting to go a little bit gloopy there. I don't know if it's going to work or not. So what I'm going to do is give this a good shake up. It doesn't matter, but there's a little bit of beer in there. All we're wanting to do is just, whoa, it's fizzing up a bit. All we're wanting to do is just mix that yeast in with the water, so we'll get it all suspended, and then we'll pitch it into our starter. So let me just screw the top of this. Okay, so here's our yeast, nice and bubbly, and all we're going to do is pitch that right in. Okay, so we'll just pour this straight in here. A little bit of a mess there. Okay, so we've got most of that out, and then we've got a foam stopper here, just in a bit of star san. We'll put that on top. It's a good stir up. So that's looking okay, I think. So we can get a bit better light on it. So it's looking alright. So what we've got to do now is just leave that kind of room temperature for 24, 48 hours. I'm planning a brew on Saturday. It's Thursday night now, Thursday night at 10:30. So yeah, just keep it agitated for the next couple of days and we'll see how it goes. It's brew day. Hey! So talking about my freebie, so the malt that I'm going to use, so I've got some Maris Otter here. Now, when this arrives, so if you can see the dates on that, so this was packaged on the 2nd of April 2018, and best before 6 months from pack date. So they're saying best before was October 2018, thereabouts. And it's now May 2020, so that's it's just been lying in my garage. I didn't want to throw it out. I'm a bit of a tightwad like that. So I didn't want to throw it out, so I'm going to use that in my free beer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw 5 kilos of that in, and a few other bits and pieces which I'm just going to dig out. So we've got, for how much? We've got about 13 litres of water up to temperature there, so 67 degrees. And we're going to fire that in, and we'll leave that mashing for, we'll probably leave it for an hour and a half maybe. So we'll get this measured out. I'll give you the full grain bill in just a jiffy, and we'll get on to mash. Here's my other ingredients. So we've got some flaked oats here, went out of date 5 months ago. Some chocolate malt, went out of date almost a year ago. We've got some brown malt, not dated interestingly, but I'm pretty sure this is one of my first deliveries. So it's probably about a year old as well, I think, like a year expired. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in 400 grams of flaked oats. I'm going to add in just maybe 100 grams chocolate malt and probably 300 grams of brown malt. So we'll get that fired into our mash, which we've got in here. So we've got 5 kilos of Maris Otter. So we'll get this mashed in now. So we're all done our mash, and I've also sparged in probably 16, 17 litres. So we've got a pre-boil volume now of about 26 litres. We're just coming up to temperature at the moment. So we're at 87 degrees at the minute. So we're getting there slowly. Meantime, I've been digging out some hops that were, let's just say, past their best. So I had some Cascade here, which was, expiry date was August 2019, not the best. And I've also put some Fuggles in. So I got some Fuggles, they weren't particularly well vacuum packed actually, so yeah, they're kind of relatively new, so maybe a little bit of a cheat there with my free beer. But yeah, I'm not kind of keen on keeping them for too long in the freezer, so I thought I'll use some of them. So what I've got is 35 grams of Cascade and 15 grams of Fuggles going in at 60 minutes. And then I'm doing 50-50 then at 10 minutes. So I'll do 25 grams Cascade, 25 grams of Fuggles. We'll go in at 10 minutes. And I may dry hop. I'll kind of wait and see. We're just winging it a little bit, so we'll just see how it goes. So we'll wait till it comes to boil, and we'll check in shortly. Rolling, rolling, rolling on the beer. Yeah, we got a rolling boil going on, boys and girls. So we'll give her 60 minutes. Ooh, almost forgot to put the hoppies in. Pour hoppies in. Just tie them up there. So leave that for 50 minutes, and then stick next set of hops in, and wait for it to do its thing. Lovely jubbly. 10 minutes to go, countdown's on. So talking about freebies, so I've just got a bag of kind of odds and ends, so lemons, limes, oranges, grapefruits, etc. From fruit juices that I've made over the last kind of few weeks or so. All I've done is I've just bunged them in the freezer as and when. I would have probably thrown them on the veggie patch or in the compost heap. So they've been frozen, so I've just taken them out of the freezer, put them in a bag. I'm going to fire these in, just hoping to get kind of some of those citrusy aromas and taste maybe. So I'm going to fire that in, as well as a little drop of Irish moss, and then we'll get it cooled down. We're down to temperature now, so I've taken our chiller out and we're just moving it into our chronicle now. So according to our BrewBru, we're at 15 degrees. According to my thermometer, and at the top we're at about 21, so yeah, it should be good to go, and then we'll pitch our yeast. So here is our yeast starter. Now I was a little bit worried about this, but actually, if you have a look, you can see there's like bubbles and things. So that is a good sign, nice yeast action. So we're looking good. So here's our free beer the morning after with free bubbles. Coming on fairly steady. I'd expect that'll get much more vigorous later on, but it's coming on nicely. 7.35, that's what it worked out to be. So original gravity 10.62, final gravity 10.06. So yeah, it worked out at 7.35. So that's it there. Came out quite nice and clear actually, considering it's only been a couple of weeks just left fermenting. Came out pretty good, and we sample. It's actually pretty tasty. So I would say if you've got out of date ingredients, hops, malt, whatever it might be, go for it. I mean, what have you got to lose? Free beer. But tune in. In fact, you don't need to tune in again next week. You can just wait for like 1 second, because through the magic of YouTube, I will be sitting drinking a glass of this, hopefully carbonated up, nice head on it, in the comfort of my own kitchen. Well, let's see, did it work? Wow, that's amazing. Look, we've got a haircut too. So here we are, free beer. Free beer indeed. So nice little head on it, quite a tight little head actually. It's come out nice and clear. It's very tasty. There's a bit of a bitterness there, nice hop, but quite a complex character to it actually. Really like it. I took a little keg of this down to a barbecue at the weekend, and went down a storm. It was basically an empty keg I took home. It was really nice. It doesn't taste like a 7% beer either. So what I'd say is, if you've got some ingredients you're not sure about, date on it is maybe a kind of bit iffy, doesn't matter. Go for it. You've got nothing to lose. Make a free beer. But before you do that, like, subscribe, tell your friends, comment if you like. I'll personally reply. How's that for you? An individual reply from me, Klein, famous of BrewBru. I'm not famous at all, but never mind. Anyway, like and subscribe, please. And enjoy the free beer. Bye for now.